My English best, I would like to thank you about your invitation. فيما يتعلق بسؤالك الكريم، أنا
As
أعتقد
for
بأن
your
جيش
question,
الاحتلال
I believe
الإسرائيلي
that
وبعد
the
مضي
Israeli
أكثر من
occupation
عام
forces,
على
after a year
عدوان
or more than a
بربري
year
وحشي في قطاع
for
غزة
this
من خلال الاجتياح
hostile
البري
aggression
لثلاث
against
فرق
Gaza
عسكرية
by a ground
وإغراء جوي
offensive
وبحري
and
كبيرين، فشل في تحقيق الأهداف التي
airstrikes.
اندلعت الحرب أو التي
They failed to achieve
أطلق
the
بنيامين
goals
نتنياهو
that
يد
Benjamin
جيشه من
Netanyahu
أجل تحقيقها. إذن
decided
الأهداف
to go to
التي
war
رفعت بكل
for.
تأكيد
So all the goals
هي
that were
استعادة
set,
الأسرى، وقد فشلت حكومة
which
الاحتلال
which
في
include
ذلك. النقطة
restoring or
الثانية
the release of the
المتعلقة
hostages, has
بالقضاء على
failed
حركة
also. The other
حماس،
point
ونحن
in
نشاهد
relation
أن
to the elimination
حركة
of
حماس
Hamas,
تمارس عملها الخاصة فيما يتعلق بالقوة
Hamas
الصاروخية،
still
لأنها تمكنت يوم
practiced
أمس
their work
من
because
قصف
yesterday they
تل
were
أبيب،
able
بالإضافة إلى
to
بعض التقارير
airstrike Tel
الاستخباراتية
Aviv, in
التي
addition to
تحدثت
some
عن
intelligence
وجود
reports
حزب
that spoke
وإعادة
about the existence of
قيامه
Hamas,
بالاتصالات
and
بقيادات الحركة
in addition
خارج
to some
فلسطين. المسألة الثالثة
communication among
وهي
the members of this
هل
movement, Hamas
بالإمكان
movement.
أن يقوم جيش
The
الاحتلال
other
بتوفير
point,
الأمن والأمان لسكان مستوطنات
can the
قطاع غزة في ظل غياب
the
الأولى
occupation
والثانية؟ لا أعتقد
forces
بأن الثالثة ستتحقق،
support
وبالتالي
and
لأن
secure
حكما
the safety
واحدا
and
لغاية
security for
الآن
the
ونحن
residences?
اليوم
I
في
don't think
يوم
that they
واحد بعد
can
عام
achieve this, because
على
after a year
الإطلاق جيش الاحتلال ما زال
of this
عاجزا
war,
عن
the
تحقيق
occupation
الأهداف
forces
المرجوة
are unable to
من الإصلاح،
achieve
ولكن
the
هذا
goals of the
لا
war.
يلغي أن جيش
But
الاحتلال
thus,
قام بعمليات تدمير
that
بربرية
doesn't mean
كبيرة
that
قالت
we
ما
can
يزيد عن
ignore the
70% من منازل
destruction
قطاع
that
غزة. لدينا
was
أكثر من 100,000
committed by the
جريح،
Israeli
أكثر من
forces.
50,000
We have more
جريح
than
حقيقة،
50,000
على
martyrs
اعتبار
in
أن
Gaza
هناك ما
Strip,
يقارب 10,000 مفقود،
and there are also tens
وإضافة
of thousands of
إلى
missing people.
عمليات النزوح التي
Moreover, there
لأول
are
مرة تحدث في
displacement
التاريخ
process
أن بعض السكان
that,
المحليين
because it's the first time in the
يهدرون
history,
منازلهم
some
أو يتم
indigenous people
تهجيرهم من
are
منازلهم
forcibly
ذوي
displaced
الطبقات في
from
أقل
their
من عام.
houses 5 times in less than a year.
Okay, and staying with you, Mr. Shedeed, after a year of this war on Gaza, has Israel succeeded in achieving its declared goal of eliminating Hamas, do you think?
The elimination of Hamas doubtlessly was a very difficult goal to be achieved. It failed in all the possible ways. In addition, something people do not think about, the only operation through which Israel was able to release their hostage was the negotiation operations with Hamas. Even when Israel wanted to communicate with someone, wanted to communicate and agree with someone on the exchange of hostage processes, they had to conclude an agreement with Hamas. So the Israeli occupation admits the existence of Hamas in Gaza Strip, even through the agreements that were previously signed between both parties. Today, we are fully aware that up till now, and many Israeli officials talked about this, and I remember what the head of the operations divisions, Iron, said in Israel. The occupation forces of Israel haven't achieved the goals of war in Gaza. How would they achieve these goals in Lebanon? It's a real, they admitted really that they weren't able to eliminate Hamas, and it's not expected to be achieved soon, despite of the siege around Gaza Strip by the occupation forces, despite the disagreement with Hamas.
Okay, Mr. Shedeed, even though Israel said that its ground incursion of Lebanon, going to Lebanon now, is limited and targeted, we know that from history, in the 80s, of course, Israel occupying Lebanon. Do you think a similar scenario could happen now?
The three scenarios, or the three events that took place in the history of conflict between Israel and Lebanon that witnessed ground offensives. There are tens of confrontations. However, we had an invasion in 1978 and the grand invasion in 1982 and the latest war in 2006. If we try to project these confrontations in reality today, of course, we can compare, but the latest confrontation made the occupation forces incur lots of losses. We know that the Belgrade Committee that was formed after 2006 that examined the losses of the occupation forces, they admitted their loss in front of Hezbollah. Israel has only the military troops, the infantry, the armors. This is the only force of Israel. In addition to the vehicle, which is Hezbollah, Hezbollah, over the past 18 years, were able to accumulate huge power, either underground or over the ground, or the exploitation of the topographic nature of the mountains. So it's expected that most of southern Lebanon will turn into Hujayra Valley that witnessed the war of 2006, which will drain the army of the occupation and the government of the occupation that cannot be